welcome back to Going Through It with Kenechi
and Natalie.
Today, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say about this episode.
Know.
I don't know how we even came up with this idea. We were just shooting ideas back and forth.
And we went through a lot of ideas, and this is the only one where we both like, hey, this sounds fun.
Why not?
But at the same time, it's like, what?
Yeah, so today, we're actually talking about...
Is it possible to stay friends after a situationship, relationship, or friends with benefits, or a friend you just happen to be having sex with no benefits?
Is it possible to be friends with someone you've had sex with? It's that simple. Whether it was a relationship, situation, whatever it was, is it possible to remain friends with someone after you guys have had sexual relations? Mm-hmm. Now, the crazy part about the story is we're actually going to call someone we had sexual relations with.
And yeah.
So we're going to get their take on
our situation at the time.
Yeah, what they think about it now and where we go from here, if anywhere, you know? We're just going to talk about it. So Natalie, what are your thoughts? Can you be friends with someone you've had sex with after the fact?
In general?
Or just an ex in general. Let's do it.
Ex in general, I can't do it because once I'm done with you, I'm done with you, you know? I was smart but stupid enough to stay away from people in my industry, but some of my people are in my industry. Yeah. But you know, I think we're fine. You know, like we're cordial. We'll still throw work each other's way or whatever. You know,
cordial.
I mean,
the person you're gonna call, I guess, but usually
no.
I would not describe Natalie as cordial with her exes. No,
really,
no,
really.
No. Every time I'm like, well, why can't you be friends with them? That person.
Okay, listen.
So be real.
No. Cordial is you actually being like polite when you're in their face, you know? That's what I mean. Like if I see them in the street, if I don't gotta say hi, I'm not gonna say hi. Yeah. You know? But if we happen to be right next to each other and someone is a mutual person and wants to say, oh, did you know this person will be like, yeah, we're actually exes. Like I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna like be like, no, you me over this and this and this and have a whole scene. No.
Yeah.
You know?
I get you. Or do I? Because I'm absolutely the opposite. I mean, sometimes it's to the detriment of me that I completely believe in being friends with your exes. I feel as though once I've had that connection, that bond with someone where, you know, when you're in a relationship with someone, that person is like your best friend. That person is your everything. And then when things fall apart, you guys become strangers again. No. Then to me, that just says you never loved that person really at all. But what I will say that I've learned is it's not possible to be friends with every single ex. Mm-hmm. So although I think like once I love you, I'm always going to love you. No matter if the dynamics of the relationship changes where, you know, we're not in each other's lives every single day. It's impossible to be friends with someone who does not want to be your friend or who wants more. Mm-hmm. I will say if it's possible if both parties respect each other. And while they're in other relationships, they're okay with that. They're not trying to sabotage you. But not everybody is like that. So today we're going to speak to someone on my side who I wasn't in a relationship with him, but this person was a good friend of mine and actually helped me through a really tough time in my life. I knew he had feelings for me and wanted more, but at the time we worked together. And I felt like you shouldn't shit where you eat. I think that's the saying.
Yeah.
Right? I'm very against like school, work. I don't want to mess around. And I don't know. I just didn't see him like that at that time. But I just got to a point where we took it to that next step. And it's something I felt guilty about because I knew it's how he felt about me, and I knew that I didn't want something more with him, but it still happened. And after I tried to act like it didn't happen and dismiss him and his feelings, I still wanted to be his friend, but I just wanted to act like that whole part of it didn't happen. And that might not have been the best thing for me to do. So we'll talk to him today about that and how he feels and his perspective on how things went down with us. We're still very much so friends. We're not as close as we used to be. Obviously, I'm now married. You know, he's been in a relationship where his girlfriend didn't feel comfortable with him having...
You know a lot.
Yeah. His girlfriend didn't feel comfortable with me being in his life. So hopefully he'll give us insight into that. Mm-hmm. He's now single. Mm-hmm. I'm still married. But like I said, he's been there for me through some of the toughest times in my life. And I have no desire to be with him. But I respect him as a man, and I respect his relationship in terms of friendship. So I don't want to give that up. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think my husband respects that. I'm very open with my husband, so I don't think he's threatened. So I'm curious to know what he thinks and how my actions may have affected him. Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get to him later, because right now we actually have my guy waiting on the line. So I don't know much about him anymore. We were actually in college together, which was, we were in college together, and we were, like, creative partners, as in, like, we worked on shows together a lot, because we just happened, I don't know, that's the way it was. And this was my homeboy, bro, like one of my best guy friends. And then, senior year, I don't know how, we started making out. Yeah. And then we started playing with the line of, do we, like, what is this? Is this...
Take it to the next level, or...
We ended up, having intercourse and whatever, and then it became a little messy, like...
Your feelings got involved.
Right, I wanted more, he was like, but he also was kind of like, I kind of maybe want more, or something...
Yeah, like just stringing you along kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know if it was intentional, but it still happened. Mm-hmm. And then, but here's the thing. When we crossed that line, we made, like, a promise to each other that no matter what happens, whether it goes south or not, that we would stay friends. And I was about that because, this was my homeboy. I need, like, every stage in my life, I've always had a best guy friend, that I've never crossed the line with. He was the first one that I crossed the line with. And I wanted to keep him as a friend no matter what. And he wanted to keep me as a friend no matter what. But because of whatever reasons that we didn't work out, he also left to London to study.
I remember hearing that story.
Yeah, this same summer. I don't think we were able to, like, find
closure. And
you were
devastated.
Yeah. Because I was losing my friends still. Anyway, so I tried being his friend after this collapse, I guess. And it did not seem like he was into it because he would stop responding, or he was like...
It's almost distant. Like he was pushing you away, basically. Yeah. So and then you got the hint.
I got the hint, and then I move on, And then because we're still closely connected in the college circle, I would see him sometimes. We would have a small chat, and, like, it hurt me not as a, potential lover. I let that go, but it's like, damn, son.
As, like, a friend, you could have explained it to me better.
Cool, bro,
yeah. So she hasn't spoken to him in a long time, right?
Probably 2015.
Wow, so this is their first conversation, and I'm interested to see how this goes.
So I'm about to call him on Facebook Messenger.
We're not giving any names, any descriptions, or anything. Remaining anonymous. And we have questions already for them.
Yes, to which I'll be reading.
Hello?
Hey, so you're on the phone, and we're recording right now. So, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Hi, by the way, I'm Kenechi. Just thought I should introduce myself. Thank you so much for participating in our podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
So, let's get right into it. First question. Do you think exes/people who had sexual relations could or should stay friends after the fact?
Could, yeah, sure. Should, it depends, there's no obligation for anybody to do anything. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I think it's a matter of context,
Yeah.
Definitely possible, though, yeah.
Okay. Second question. What is your take on our friendship?
At this point in time, right now, you're talking about currently.
In general, I would say, like, you can give us a little history of it.
Yeah, you could do that.
Oh, well, we used to be, like, really, really close, back, like, a while ago, long time ago. But, things kind of faded away. And like, if I were to see you right now, I'd say like, hey, and have a conversation with you like that. But rather than occasionally, we did fall off a lot. So
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Third question. Do you
Okay.
think it was a good idea for us to take the next step from the friendship side into the sexual relation side?
Good, well-worded question. The answer, the answer is no,
Yeah.
not a good idea. The reason I say that is because if you were to be like, do I regret anything? I think everything in life's a learning experience. Would I do things differently? Sure. But as far as it to being a good idea in general, no.
Gotcha.
Kind of mess things up.
You know what? I'm gonna jump in because like this, I'm just spitting out questions.
Yeah,
I agree. Like I don't really like regret it because it is a learning experience, but I don't think it was a good idea. What changed for you, if anything, once we took that next step?
Well, like I just said, it was a new experience for me, taking steps like that in general. And it kind of like made me go haywire a little bit as to what was going on, how I was feeling. Feelings changed up and down out of nowhere for me, and at the same time, I didn't know how honest I could be with you about how I was feeling, even though I did my best, which, full disclaimer, my best back then was terrible.
And I knew you were doing your best, so I did appreciate that.
So would you say you felt like you couldn't be honest with her because she was your friend and you just didn't want to hurt her feelings?
Some things, there are certain points I could have been, I was honest with her about. Other points that I think, honestly, which really mattered, I was kind of scared of, like, mentioning. And it wasn't fair, It wasn't even, I don't even think it was, like, that deep, Like, there were certain things I just could have, been forward about. But I wasn't because I was a punk.
So would you agree that maybe she wanted more out of what you guys had than you were willing to give at the time? Or were you just scared of being more? Not that you didn't want more, you were just scared.
Thinking back from what I remember a while ago, and by the way, anything I say is my interpretation of what I remember, doesn't mean it's factual.
Yeah, you're entitled to that, by the way. There's no judgment here. Yeah, you're entitled.
Yeah, I know that's obvious, but I'm putting it out there. I remember, like, in the beginning, I thought I was, like, enamored, a lot more enamored with you than I probably was. Maybe it was like a surge of emotions that came at me at the time, and I didn't know how to handle that. And then other things that I'm not going to mention, like, but about, came into play, and it kind of like messed up my focus a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I didn't feel the same way a little while after.
Here's the one we actually never got to talk about. I tried being your friend, but it didn't seem like you wanted the same. Why did you think we couldn't be friends?
You see, that's another thing, because, like I said, I'm not sure. Maybe I felt certain things at certain times throughout history, throughout the past. But I thought that you didn't want to be my friend. Or if, like, maybe that's like an unfair way of putting it. There was just a tension there. Like, there was a high tension. And again, me being a punk like that, didn't really want to confront it. So I just let it hang there until, it kind of faded through. None of it was like purposeful manipulation, really. It was probably just an instinctual reaction to, like, what I sensed.
Is there anything you would like to ask Natalie?
I do have a lot of questions, but none that, like, my head's kind of swirling at the moment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like, do you like overall feel anything? Like, what's your take on me right now? How about that?
Okay. To be mad honest, I thought you was a punk too.
Yeah.
But I did respect the fact that because you really, like, honestly, you really did the best you could, and I could see it in verbalizing what you knew and what you didn't know, and so on. Uh, and that's about it.
You were a little lost,
I
like
was,
you were saying.
yeah,
You
I
had
was,
no idea
I
why
was
it was so
totally
hard to be
lost.
friends,
Yeah,
right?
because we did remember we talked about this, that we were gonna try to be friends no matter what happened. You know, even if it went south.
This was before we like. This was during. This was kind of in the beginning of the whole thing, right?
Yeah, but we already had
Yeah.
crossed the line. OD.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, and I took
Yeah.
that seriously. Like when I started asking you more questions, trying to piece together what you already knew, because you know I needed an answer soon. Like my feelings were getting serious. I started letting go actually, and trying to like relax. I don't know if that translated because you know it was college and you know we're theater majors, we're dramatic, but that was my intention.
Yeah.
So that was that, and I also, because you were so honest, I was so much calmer because it's like, all right, he could like you couldn't come to the answer. I gave it for you for myself. You see what I mean? Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Knowing your answers now, that confirms my feelings because I thought to myself I was being too hard on you and too hard on myself. But at the same time, it is what it is. We were growing, you know? So it's
Yeah.
actually really nice hearing you saying this and actually having had thought about it, because it lets me know you did think about this. That was something else I hadn't mentioned before this previously, is that sometimes it seemed like you didn't take us into consideration, which, being that you were my close guy friend, I was like, yo, what the though? Like, we still friends, you know? Yes, it was true that there was high tension, but I really was doing my best to, like, stay your friend, you know?
But maybe it just wasn't possible at that time. At that moment, emotions were too
Possibility,
high.
no, possibility, sure, but I did do quite a bit to,
Yeah.
like,
And
show
what I
you.
can say from hearing the story, from being an outsider looking in, it seems as though like perception is everything, right?
Yeah.
And you were perceiving the situation like, oh, I'm trying to be his friend. But in his mind, he's
Right.
thinking, no, she's really not trying to be my friend. So you guys weren't on the same
wavelength,
yeah,
or something.
and it had just mixed signals going on.
Yeah.
Maybe all it would have taken was an honest conversation at that point, like, hey, I feel as though I'm trying to be your friend, but you're pushing me away. And he would have said, funny you say that. I feel the same thing about you.
Yeah.
And you guys could have gone from there.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the thing. But
it's
didn't
hard.
happen.
Some conversations are hard to have in the moment, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
But you know, I think there was a part of me that didn't try hard enough, and I was just like seeing negative things, like, and I was just probably like micro picking like little reactions. Like if you were to walk past me on the street and you just said "Hey" and turned around, then I was like, "Oh man, she don't want to be my friend anymore," you know. So like, you know, little things like that. It was like I was like super sensitive about things at the time, and yeah, it was a very confusing time. But
I gotcha.
We appreciate your honesty. This was such a refreshing conversation. I wish people would have more of these conversations, honestly, you know, because it puts some perspective and closure, I would say, on situations, you know?
No,
yeah.
for real, because, like, dude, you was a real homeboy. Like, for real?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I missed most about you, being my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, you was the real home girl. Like I'm really saying that, like, honestly, because we had a lot of fun times. So like we were chilled together, and like, you know, sometimes there was a time where I needed help with something, and it was like 5 a.m, and we went to a diner, and like you helped me out with it, and like, you know, we got to talk about anything, you know, and that's what I miss about you too. But you know, the future will hold what it holds. I'll just you know put that out there.
Yes.
You know,
I definitely think after this, you guys can keep communication open if that's something you guys want to further discuss stuff, because he said he has a lot of questions,
which I'm open to.
Yep.
Okay, but for now, I think we'll end it on this note. This was
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're so chipper. So I'm here with Natalie, my co-host.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How you doing, Natalie?
I'm good.
So are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
So just remember, you can ask me anything. It's an open dialogue, an open conversation, and let's both try to just be as honest as possible.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. I'm not going to lie about anything. I'm going to say how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Put
go
it on
ahead.
the table.
Yes, please. So let's start. Do you think it's possible to be friends with your ex or someone you had sexual relationships with?
Actually, yes. I mean, I don't see the need for me to have like some type of negative reaction towards somebody I had intercourse or I was with in the past. Despite how everything ended, obviously, some relationships don't end on a good note. But I feel like everybody, if at one point you love that person, there shouldn't be no like
No hate, no
hard feelings.
animosity.
Yeah, hard feelings towards that person once everything finished.
So I agree with you on that. That's exactly how I feel. So what is your take on our friendship?
On our friendship, it was one of a kind, to be honest. Like, I mean, first when we actually met, I actually tried to hit on you, and you said, "Oh no, I'm taking at the moment." So we actually kept it as friends for a long time, actually, until we pushed it a little more. And even still, like after what 5 years, I think it is 6 years, we still our friendship. To me, I see it as still as one of a kind because we hit up each other every now and then. We talk, we communicate.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good.
Yeah, how I saw our friendship is exactly how you said, but I always say at one point in my life, you were really, really there for me. When I felt I didn't have that many people there. I'm sure you
Yeah.
know the time that I was talking about. And you would call me all the time. We would talk more often at that point. Okay, so do you think it was a good idea for us to take the next step from friendship into having sex?
I mean, eventually, I feel like sometimes when you have a friend and you know that if there's some type of like feelings from one side, even if it's one sided, right? Eventually, something is gonna happen, no matter how you put it. Whether it will be in a good note or in a bad note, something is gonna happen. I feel like everything happened for a reason
I agree.
because it at the time, yes, I had I think I was dealing with my baby moms at the time, and you was the only one I would talk to about like all the problems I would go through. And at the time, you was going through a situation as well, and I was the only one that was there with you, talking to you, and all of that, and all of that. So I guess everything led to one thing led to another, and I guess it just happened.
So
I
our
mean,
take on this is just a little bit different. Like I said, you were there for me at a time when no one else was, and I was feeling like pretty low about myself. I'm normally a very confident girl. But at that time, I wasn't really feeling like myself, and I can say that you made me feel beautiful. You remind me like things are gonna be okay. Even if it was you just coming to like walk around the block with me or something, right? It was
yes.
appreciated. So that made me feel, I wouldn't say romantic feelings towards you, but just value you as a person more, if that makes sense. And at that time, I was single, but I don't know if you remember, you were now dating the mother of your child. Like, you guys weren't together yet,
Nah, yeah, we were still like talking and stuff like that.
Exactly. Otherwise, I would have never taken it to that step. And I don't think it was a good and bad idea for me. Good in that I feel like I needed that at that time, but bad in that once it happened, I didn't know how to deal with the new dynamic of our friendship. It felt weird to me. So, what changed for you, if anything, once we took that step?
The feelings actually. I'm not the type of guy that like will be messing around.
Yeah.
Because I catch feelings like quick. If it's just one time, probably we could just leave it like that. But if it's more than twice or three times, like I'm not good at that because my feelings grows fast. Even if I already have feelings for you and we take that step, for me it's like okay, we taking this step, so next step is a relationship. Pretty much, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Obviously, not always it happens that way, but like for me, that's how I took it. Like I don't know if you remember, like right after like we have our time or our moment of having sex or whatever. Like I went on a vacation. When I came back from vacation, that's when like I tried to speak to you about it, or I tried to like let you know how I felt and everything. And by that time, your situation was different. You was no longer single. Your ex, I think it was at the moment, was actually
I
trying
don't
to
think
work
I
things out.
was emotionally available, and that's something I want to apologize to you about, because I do remember you coming to me and telling me how you felt, and me being a little bit dismissive about it. Like, I didn't really want to talk about it. And it's nothing that you did, it's just me and how I was at the time. And I don't think at that time I was open to anyone else but my ex at the time.
Yes,
You know?
I do remember that time because um, I remember we actually spoke a couple of times about the situation, and you made it clear, like, yeah, we trying to work things out. So, like, I do apologize for the situation and everything. So, I mean, I understood it, right? Um, the only thing probably was that you didn't probably made it clear at the time that you wasn't looking for a relationship. Because
Yeah.
probably if that was the case, it would have been a different scenario.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't change anything. Probably I would still feel the same way, but there was no hard feelings. At the end of the day, like you came to me and you let it know.
So we're not as close as we once were, right? Why do you think that
Yes.
is?
One, because we live in two different worlds right now.
Okay.
You live in the West Coast. I live in the East Coast. Obviously, time difference is a huge factor in everything. The communication fell off as well. Like it's not as it was at one point. Maybe because your life had turned around after, I would say, probably your marriage and your engagement and everything.
Mm-hmm.
After you getting with your partner, like you was more committed into having a good relationship with him as opposed to having a relationship with your friends, which like as a grown person, as a human being, I understand that part.
Yeah, but I actually disagree with you. I think where we stopped being as close is that you were in a relationship and you were focused on building a
Okay.
family, and maybe the person that you were with weren't comfortable with you having female friends as much. And out of
Yes.
respect, I really wanted you to be happy, and out of respect for your relationship, I pulled back.
I do agree with that too. Because at the time, well, let me see, I would say 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, I do remember that every time you would text me, whether I was with her or whatever it was that you text me, even if you said, hey, how you doing, or hi, my friend, or whatever the case was, it was a big problem for her. So yes, I do agree with you that it was me that started the separation, or putting our friendship to a side.
Yeah,
In,
which I
in
don't
the
mind. Like, I respected it, you know?
That's one question I'll ask. Like, how do you feel about the whole situation? How I handle it?
I didn't feel any type of way about it. Like, I missed my friend. I really did. But seeing you happy made me happy, even if I had to watch from a distance.
Okay, okay. So I do have a few questions for you.
Okay.
All
Go
right. So,
ahead.
so you said that you felt some type, or you was happy at the fact that like I was in a relationship and I was happy and everything.
Yeah.
So, any moment did it cross your mind like that could have been me, or I wish it was me, or what if I would have given the chance that he was looking for with me?
No. honestly, I would look at your pictures and I would think, thank God that he found her, because I know I couldn't give him that. Like, I wasn't ready and capable of giving you that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Last but not least, do you think our friendship could ever go back to how it was now? You know, we hit up each other every now and then and stuff. But do you think we could get to that same level where we was at one point?
No. But do I think we could have a new relationship, a new friendship that's healthy and had boundaries and all of that? Yes, I do. Because I do care about you. I really do care about you as a person, you know?
I mean, I could say that if we put our past aside and, like, you know, I mean, it's something that happened already, right? Everybody moved on. I've moved on. You moved on, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't think it should be hard for us to become friends as we did before.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm laughing at the toys in the background. How cute.
Oh, it's my daughter that she's watching the video.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate your honesty and your willingness to have this conversation with me. And I almost wish we would have had it sooner.
Indeed, like, it's good that we're talking about things that happened between us before. And I do appreciate you as a person as well, because, like, from you I learned a lot. So, you know, I appreciate that.
Well, same here.
Natalie, right?
Yeah, bye.
She's been so quiet, right?
I mean, no, you guys were great. Like,
I thought you would say something.
Yeah.
I thought so too, but y'all handle this like y'all good.
At least you should say something. Like,
okay, so let's see. From an outsider, let's give her a chance. From an outsider looking in, what do you think about our situation? What do you gather?
Like, I also wish that you had talked sooner, because you guys really took the time separately to think about your situation, and your communication skills are on point, because I didn't even have to jump in. You guys really covered ground. I want to see how this relationship goes, you know, this friendship. And you guys are being very, very respectful about both of your marital statuses. And it's like, this might be a beautiful thing if you can make it flourish, you know? Cause
it has to be about maturity, pretty much.
And again, communication.
That's everything, because you have to be a bigger person to understand the situation, or understand that not everything in life has to go your way, you know?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. This was wildly insightful.
Thank you for inviting me, actually.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all. Wow. Oh, what do you think about that? By the way, guys, we both had very long conversations. Obviously, the whole thing would not have made it in the podcast.
So for me, this is the first time I've ever talked to my guys for more than 5 minutes since 2014, you know? So you were seeing real reactions, and, like, for real, this was like my brother. And to be honest, I was concerned. I'm like, what feelings are going to come up today? Is it going to be the romantic ones, or is it going to be the friendship ones? And it was really like the romantic part, whatever I thought I had then, just doesn't exist, because it didn't fit, because it's just like, he also agrees, it's just not us. That's not our, that we don't, like, but where we do gel is as, like, best friends, and, you know, and, like,
I'm excited to see where that friendship goes from here after today, because it seems like he was almost waiting for you to reach out. Like, he just answered and...
Yeah, okay, literally hit him up today.
Answered right away.
Yo.
And had that been what? You would have been overthinking it. Like, should I reply? Should I, you know? For me, I think... I finally feel good getting it off my chest, because I felt guilty for a long time.
Yeah, same.
Just wanting to be friends with him and knowing that he wanted more. Something that I couldn't provide, or I didn't see myself ever providing. It's not that he's not a good guy, because he's an awesome guy.
He sounds awesome.
And he treated me so well. And like I told you guys, when I was really down, he picked me up and built me up and reminded me, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're this, you're that. But if you don't feel something, you cannot force yourself. And I felt guilty because at the time I liked a dickhead, if I'm being honest, and I was passing up this good guy.
Mm-hmm. That was also an interesting observation. You guys apologized to each other. Meanwhile, we didn't. Me and my guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like we needed to apologize to each other. What happened more was an understanding, which also happened in you guys. So it was just interesting because not everything needs an apology.
I owed him more of an explanation
Yeah.
and less of a chip on my shoulder, like I told you already, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
So this was I gotta be vulnerable for a second, but like my heart feels healed for real. Like
yeah, I mean
something let go and something came back. I don't know what, but this was a good thing.
I'm satisfied. I mean, it makes me want to be crazy enough to just reach out to maybe another ex of mine.
That was dead ass going through my mind too.
Yo, we should do it.
Yeah,
This should be a part 2.
I don't know yet because I only have one more person on my list to do that with.
Yeah, maybe I don't need to. It just made me want to have those conversations with my exes more for myself, but maybe it's not something that needs to happen.
Yeah, interesting. We'll figure it out. We'll let you know.
All right. So anyway, guys, that is all we have for you guys today. I mean, I'm leaving feeling good.
Word.
You know, better than I came in.
I really didn't expect this to happen because seriously, I was walking in with, and it is what it is, mentality.
You were also scared.
I was also scared because, come on, that was very confusing and it wasn't closed,
Yeah. Now you have answers that you haven't had for years.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and maybe this will encourage you guys to seek closure. And please, no abusive exes, nothing that's gonna challenge your mental health in a negative way.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, bye.
Bye.